One step closer to closure. A Jane Doe whose body was found in Tennessee 18 years ago has finally been identified. After reaching an impasse in the investigation, police reached out to a local nonprofit for help. And years later, they were able to identify the missing Connecticut woman. News 8's Zuri Hoffman has been following this. She joins us live now to explain exactly how they cracked this case. Zuri.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. 40-year-old Mary Alice Maloney is from Connecticut, but had been living in the Nashville area right before she vanished. Police found her body in a wooded area with a gunshot wound to the head and blunt force trauma. Her body was found almost 20 years ago, November 14, 2007. Police had no idea who she was until now.
It's a case that sat cold for 18 years, but thanks to new DNA technology, a family now has some sense of closure.
When we identify our John and Jane Doe, that actually gives the family some answers.
These answers came after a crime in 2007. A woman's body was found in a wooded area in Vergne, Tennessee, with no clothes, shot in the head. Blunt force trauma identified by the medical examiner. Her body was believed to be there for at least 6 months. For years, police looked into the case, exhausting all leads. Dead end after dead end. But then in 2020, police decided to try out fairly new technology.
So somebody who's taken a DNA test with, say, Ancestry or 23andMe or MyHeritage, they can download their DNA data, upload it to GEDmatch or Family Tree DNA, and they could actually prove to be the pivotal DNA match in a cold case that they're not familiar with, involving a distant relative that they've never heard of.
And that's exactly what happened in this case. Investigators in Vergne reached out to the DNA Doe Project. The nonprofit uses what's called investigative genetic genealogy, tracking down their Jane Doe's relatives using their DNA profile. They knew very little. She was African American or multiracial, a rough age, and when she died. At first, it looked like another dead end. But 9 months into their work, they saw something promising through the DNA of a very distant cousin.
And she was about a third cousin to our Jane Doe, but that was still far closer than any other relative we had seen. So she was African American, and when we built back her family tree, we found that she had a very distant cousin who had moved up to Connecticut, and that distant cousin had married a Puerto Rican man. That, for us, was a significant clue, and when we began looking into it, we realized that they had a daughter, and that daughter had just vanished from the radar around 2007.
From there, they made the match. Mary Alice Maloney. She was 40 years old at the time of her death. Without this technology, solving it may have been impossible.
If there was any evidence that would have been found due to the time period, it deteriorated or disappeared.
But police say the work continues, trying to find the killer, giving the family the real answers they've been waiting nearly 2 decades for.
Well, with her being identified now, the hope is that someone, be it friends, acquaintances, roommates, anything like that, would reach out to the police department. I'd like to talk to them just to try to get some more history on her and possibly develop some leads into a possible suspect.
The DNA Doe Project says you can help solve cold cases like this one by uploading your DNA to websites like GEDmatch, Family Tree DNA, and DNA Justice, for example. Your DNA may be the key to cracking more cases like these. For now, reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Zuri Hoffman, News 8.